Alright, on today's episode of Wild Rose Garage, Thoroughbred gift horses. So this is my buddy Mike's 360. It's out of a 2003 Dakota. It's got 150,000 miles on it, 240,000 kilometers. It's going into 59 Lark. And this car is going to be an actual budget build, not a car called the budget build that's had every part changed out on it 10 times and cost 10 times what the thing's worth, and you still have junk. It's going to be pretty solid. So I'm giving him a hand because he's got a lot of work to do. He's doing body work, welding and patch panels, all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, I'll give you a rundown. So he got the car. It's a two-door hardtop 59 Lark. He got the car for 400 Canadian, so that's less than 300 US. He's pulling the motor, tranny, and it just had a little rear end, a Dana 27. But me and him went to the junkyard 2 weeks ago when we found a Lark that had a Dana 44 in it. So he paid 200 some bucks, just over 200 bucks Canadian for the Dana 44. And their stout little diff. He's gonna give me the diff. I'm gonna weld up all the spider gears and weld up the axle tubes to strengthen them up, because this thing's gonna go pretty damn good. So that's done. Found him a used shifter, B&M Quicksilver, 100 bucks. Went to swap meet, got a fuel regulator for him for 10 bucks. A couple gauges for 20 bucks. Found a used set of slapper bars, liquid slapper bars, 30 bucks. I got a seat belt for him, and a trans cooler from the junkyard, all for 60 bucks. So he has pretty much all of it to do it. This engine, he's got a set of Mopar Performance. They're Magnum style heads, but they're aluminum. They're good to 580 lift, and by looking at them, they're going to flow like crazy. And I would put this motor, all said and done, at about 425 to 450 horse. It's going to have a Howard's hydraulic roller in it. It's going to be about 570 valve lift. So this is what we're doing. I got to strip it down to C, but usually these Magnums have a pretty good bottom end still, because they don't get the cylinders washed. So we're going to hone it, re-ring it, re-bearing it, re-gasket it, timing chain. I'll do some tweaks on the factory oil pump. It's going to get those heads he has on it. Howard's cam. He's got an air gap intake for it. Probably put a 1-inch spacer. He's got a 727. We're going to put, make it full manual, and a 3000 HD Hughes converter. 750 double pumper on it. And I imagine his Lark, geared right, is going to run probably around 1150 car. And I'm going to gap the rings, first and second ring, at 30 thousandths of an inch. And I figure it'll be good for a 200 shot. We're also going to fill this block up to the water pump with concrete. Moroso block fill is what we're going to use. But yeah, he's got to get a set of shorty headers for it. And yeah, just pretty much working with what you got, but it's gonna perform damn good, and I'm gonna do the best job I can for him with the tools I got. And I'll make sure everything's very clean and everything's within spec, and it should be a happy little motor. If I need any help with anything, I'm gonna try and get in contact with Ed's Machine. He's just a brilliant machinist, and seems like a great person. Just my hat's off to the guy. He seems like he'll help you out with anything you can. So yeah, it's gonna be a very cheap build, and it's gonna be a presentable car in the end. I got some good deals. I got him old Holly Blue. it's not the new one, the old one, probably 30 years old. It weighs twice as much as the new ones. I got him it for 25 bucks off this older gentleman. He got out of drag racing. That's where I got the snap-on engine stand from too. Got it from him for 90 bucks. I got a SFI racing jacket off him too. That's just beautiful, 20 bucks. And I got a Carter fuel pump off the same guy for 25 bucks. So the deals are out there. A lot of guys that were into it, you know, they're getting older. They're going to, you know, older people places to live, and they don't have room for the race cars, or they're just kind of lost interest in it. So there's definitely deals out there to be had. You just gotta be smart and really pick your combination wisely. But yeah, we figure once the car is caged on a 200 shot, it should be a low 10-second car. And we're just going to work with what we have and have a very good tune-up in it, not too much timing, real good fuel, and I think it'll hold together fine. So that's the plan for this motor. I'm going to even reuse the factory lifters. Just make sure everything's cleaned up. This motor, he says, ran great. And even the motor itself, he paid $400 for this Dakota. Something was wrong with it. It was leaking antifreeze or something, not from the motor, something else, and the guy just got sick of fixing it. I guess it was getting pretty rusted. Well, he ended up selling the T-case and transmission and everything else. He ended up getting about $1,500 for a $400 vehicle. And this motor is free and some, so it's going to pay for everything for him. So, all said and done, he'll have a Lark, probably nicer than mine. And he's going to be into it for about, you know, maybe $4,000 Canadian, and it's going to probably whoop on me, but I'm going to try my best, I'll tell you that. But yeah, Chrysler must have used the greatest hardware on the exhaust manifold bolts. Like, look at this shit. Yeah, they're pretty bad. You can't just tell me that that's from erosion. Like, I've pulled a lot of exhaust manifolds off. That's a shitty fastener. I don't care what anyone says. But I'll end up just zip cutting them off. I'll do my trick on the harmonic balancer, how I do my math, and I'm going to mark it at 34 or something like that for him. I think we can use this bracket by cutting this part off and just keep the serpentine belt. And yeah, she should be a peachy little girl. I'm pretty excited about this, actually. Like I say, he's more than capable of building motors and stuff. Me and him have been wrenching on stuff since we were boys, like 15, 16 years old. But yeah, we've known each other a long time. We've done a lot of racing and stuff on the street together. We've gotten a lot of trouble together. We've had some good times. But no, I'm more than excited to give him a hand. Because I love doing this stuff. I get off on this kind of stuff as long as it's not a rush job. So I'll just come out here when I want, do a real good quality job for him, and he should have a damn good motor in the end. And it's just gonna cost pennies, so it should be more than happy with it. And he's doing a bang up job on the car. He's gonna call the car $2 Pistol. And his cousin's a tattoo artist, and she's going to do a similar painting like my buddy Kevin did on mine, except on his car. So we'll see how his turns out. I'm sure it'll look very well. But no, these small block Dodges aren't so small, actually. Now I look about at them. I think they're wider than a small block Chev. They're a little narrower than an Olds, but they're not that small. They're pretty big. Especially, like, my favorite small block's a 302 Ford, and they're a lot bigger than a 302 Ford, I'll tell you that. But looks like everything should work pretty good. Oil pan and everything looks like it should work no problem in the Lark. Even these mounts. These mounts are, you know, those friggin' Larks, it's like they're designed to have anything put in them, because this mount, I'm pretty sure we could cut this part off. Maybe put a triangle shaped gusset on the top if need be, if we cut the bottom off. And Probably will line up very close with the frame pads and the Lark. Maybe put a hockey puck in between the two, depending on how much height a guy needs. But yeah, those mounts are going to work just peachy. And like I say, I'm going to clean the block up. I'm going to let it sit with probably white vinegar in it. And then I'm going to rinse the white vinegar out like crazy. And then I'm going to fill it full of methanol. So any water left in the block from when I rinsed it will get absorbed by the methanol. And then I will drain that. And yeah, it will fill it full of Moroso hard block. I'll show you guys how to do that if anyone's interested. But we're even going to run the drain, the block drain still, like here. And I'll show you how to do that with a piece of rubber hose covered in Vaseline going up to the deck. And then you pull the hose out after and it'll pull out of the concrete and we can still drain the block. But yeah, pretty excited about this one. I haven't played with mopars too much. My dad's a mopar guy. My brother's into everything and he's had a few. And the only one I can really say I ever had and played with and rode really hard was a 65 A-body Barracuda with a 273. And for what it was, I can't complain. I used to beat on it like a rented mule. I had a real steep rear end, 391 gears and low 14-inch tires. And I had a thermal quad on it with a later manifold with a mid-70s 360 manifold or something like that, and dual exhaust and stuff like that. And I never did run at the track, but I did a shitload of street racing with that car back in the day. And at the time, cars were slower, but it would have been probably a 1480 kind of car. So for what it was, nothing wrong with that. I beat a lot of Dakota RTs and stuff like that that were new at the time with that thing. So, but yeah, I figure with those heads, once I seen these cylinder heads he's got, they flow fantastic. They're just beautiful. Like there's nothing even you can really do to them. Everything's shaped just gorgeous on them. So it should go pretty good. The motor's only going to be, we're going to use stock pistons, but with a thin head gasket, and those heads have a little smaller chamber. It's going to be about a 9 1/4 to 1 motor. But compression isn't all what it's cut out to be. 9 1/4 with lots of cam and a head that flows like that. She's going to push out the ponies, and they're all going to be thoroughbreds. So anyhow, you'll see some progress here soon. I'm going to start stripping her down tomorrow, I think. And we'll go from there. But yeah, pretty excited. Like I say, I'm going to do a better job for him than I would for myself. Alright, have a good one, guys. Till next time, eh?